Hello, 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 folks. 'Tis the season for those of us who celebrate to indulge ourselves in rampant consumerism, overeating, attending parties in terrible sweaters to see people we probably avoid purposefully the rest of the year, and most importantly to this video, decorate our houses in garish fashion. We are going to fire up the 3D printers and make some decorations for my house because it's the second week of December and I haven't decorated at all yet. We are going to tackle a couple of projects in this video, but probably the highlight will be turning the alley outside of my studio from this nice, cozy, comfortable space into this festive version of itself.
I mean, what could go wrong with hanging Christmas lights? Right?
It's actually quite warm in the studio, so I'm going to lose this sweater and we're going to get to 3D printing. This entire video's got a lot of printing involved, so I need to start running parts off. I'm going to use this stack of Greengate 3D PETG to make those Christmas light bulbs you saw in the intro here. I haven't made any of them yet, you saw that before me. This has really nice vibrant colors, and it's semi-transparent, so the light should shine through it pretty nicely. That might actually work against me though, as it might just cause a hot spot where you can see the bulb inside of them. We'll cross that bridge when we get there though. Now those Christmas light bulbs are from a designer, CD Makes Stuff, and they're intended to be printed in vase mode, so just one single extrusion running around the perimeter of those things. So to diffuse the light pretty well through my transparent material, and to make them stronger, I'm going to use a pretty big nozzle. A 1mm CHT nozzle on my Voron 2.4 should mean quite a lot of flow so I can get these parts printed pretty quickly. Let's get this nozzle into that machine and get one of these bulbs printing so we can prove out the theory. And with one successful print out of the way, we can move on to printing the other 23 of these I need in various colors. While those are running off, and it's going to take a while to print all of them, let's work on another decoration that I'm going to put up around here. Earlier this holiday season, I released my design for the LEtGO Holiday Wreath. This is my take on an ever-popular modular interlocking brick system to assemble these into your own holiday decorations. You get the leaves, of which I recommend printing 6 or more. These interlock together with a stud and receptacle socket design. And then you get the studs, which are just the decorations that go on here. You print these in other colors to suit your own aesthetic for what you're trying to make. I've mostly been doing red, white, and yellow with these, but I added blue this time. I felt like the colors complemented the green of the wreath pretty well. And in the end, you have a wreath that you can hang up on a door, a shelf, a wall, whatever's going to work for you. Now, 3D printable versions of something like this have existed for a while now. This is just my own take on it, a remix of my own, where from the ground up, I redesigned it to get the fit and some of the aesthetic touches that I wanted. The version I just showed you was the 200% one. This is the smaller leaf from the 100% version, which is good for putting on a shelf or maybe hanging on a wall in a smaller space. You'll find a link to the files for this and every 3D printable design I'm showing you in this video in the description. Now, of course, Christmas decorating would not be complete without the tree, and that's where ornaments come in. Last year, we wanted a pretty goth Christmas tree, so I took some of my Halloween designs or some other designs we had sketched out around that time and turned them into ornaments. Like my ghosty design, jack-o'-lantern, the Ouija planchette, and the cat skull. This year I decided to go a little more lighthearted with things, and I shrunk down some of my other designs into ornaments. Blasting into the holiday season, we have Bobby the bob-omb, which I printed in multicolor on my Bamboo X1. I did include a 3MF file, so if you have multicolor capability, you could use that to help you have a pre-painted model ready for printing. Floating along with the Nintendo theme, we have Kirby. This was also printed multicolor on the Bamboo X1, and the 3MF file is included with the free download, but this is a 5-color print, so if you have a single AMS, you're going to have to change colors at a certain height, which is also in the 3MF file. And lastly, what is possibly my most popular design, I took my 10mm socket can cup and shrunk that down to ornaments as well. One with a wrench on it and one that's just the socket. All of these designs are intended to use a paper clip or something like that to hang them. So either have an eyelet or a hole in them to hang from. So with that, our Christmas tree's looking really bare. Let's get these on there. With those decorations out of the way, it's time for the star of the show, the Christmas light bulbs that are going to be in the alley. We can finally put these together after printing a whole lot of plastic. It actually didn't require that much filament. These only have a 1.75 millimeter thick single wall extrusion on them, so they look like a lot, but they're really not. The bigger deal is all of the sockets that the bulbs are supposed to go into. These are meant to give us a really traditional look to our Christmas light bulbs, and it'll all make sense when we get it put together. The lights I have out in my alley already aren't going to work for this, so I had to order some new ones. The lights we need for this situation have to hang down off of the cord so that our new housing can go over top of it. The ones I use right now in the alley are bulbs directly on the cord. It'll make more sense when you see it go together. Because of the size of my alley, I've got 2 full strings of these to put together. Each one has 12 lights on it, and since I've got to put 4 screws in each of these housings with the bulbs and their socket holders, I'm calling in some assistance. The socket holders of these pieces I printed in brown. They clamp on each side of these light sockets that this whole setup uses. That then goes into our housing, and our fake bulb slips over the real bulb. Then the other half of the housing sandwiches it all together with 4 screws cutting into the plastic. For actual assemblies, my buddy Evan came over and helped me tag team putting these together since it was just a lot to be done. He also helped me shooting the thumbnail for this video. The finished light assemblies have the wire pass through the top, bottom of the housing, and the whole thing just has this really good classic Christmas light look to it. And with all that done, it's time to hang these things in the alley outside the studio. Pretty simple for me since I already had the anchors in the wall from the previous light setup that I had in here. And that is how 3D printing saved Christmas. Yes, I'm being dramatic, but I had fun with this. Seriously though, I'm happy with the way our Christmas decorations turned out this year, even if we did finish decorating the tree last night, a week ahead of Christmas. Both Ruby and I had fun with this. It turned out well, except for clearly I have extra bulbs because I screwed up. Those LED light strips that I ordered for the alley actually only had 8 bulbs per strip. I screwed that up somehow. I ordered the wrong ones. They still worked just fine with this 3D design, but they didn't have as many bulbs on them, which worked out in my favor because I printed yellow and orange ones, and with the warm LED bulbs that were in there, the colors ended up looking very similar in the finished product, so I ended up ditching the yellow altogether and just replaced it with some of the other color prints that I had, which were left over. This whole thing's not the most epic makeover that's ever existed for Christmas, but I had fun with it. The 3D design from CD Make Stuff printed well, it assembled excellent. I'm really happy with that. That is not a free file, but there will be a link to their Etsy store if you're interested in picking them up. My designs, the ornaments, and the LEGO Wreath that I showed you in here are available for free download on my thanks page. Again, those will also be linked in the description. Alright folks, I think that's where we're going to wrap up this project. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you have a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you may celebrate, I hope it's a wonderful time of year for you. I'm not sure if I'm going to have another video out before 2024, so if not, I'll see you all next year. Get subscribed to ensure your 3D prints don't fail. It's not a guarantee, but it can't hurt. See ya!